Greetings dear viewer and welcome to episode 7 of my survival Minecraft Let's Play. I am iWatt and we start this episode in front of the windmill, as you can see. And that is because in between episode 6 and episode 7 I have been busy and I've been working on this windmill, so let's take a look at it. But first, can we please play the intro? I am now so pumped up due to the exhilarating feeling of saying that line. Anyway, let's take a look at the windmill. On the outside, not that much has changed visually. The main thing is I added windows and you can see those from the outside. On the top, on the roof and on some of the windmill blades, I added carpet so mobs can't spawn on top of it. And I think I may have added some little details like this lantern on the outside as well. But the main changes are on the inside. Because, as you can see, I did a lot of stuff here. Let's actually first go upstairs to this area right here. This room right here is just decorative. There is not really anything here. I would like to add some candles here, but candles are a bit annoying to get because you need to place a campfire under a beehive, I think, and I'm not sure if I want to do that right now. We'll get some candles here later. But the interesting stuff is down here, because this door right here is like an access to the behind the scenes. You don't normally go through here. And in here I added all of the villager redstone stuff that we showed in the previous 2 episodes. Alright, still have to add 2 villagers as you just saw. So it's not functional yet since we, well, do not have villagers in it. However, down here everything is functional. We have a couple buttons here that do a couple things. And the first one that I am going to show you is this one. It plays a little no block tune and it gives us a minecart right here. Now, if we have villagers in the storing thing up there, there should be a villager in this minecart. And then you can press this button to let it go again. This right here is the thing that toggles between we want to kill the villager that's over there and we want to keep it. So this is the emerald is we want to keep it and this is we want to kill it. Also something that I never really explained to you. The way you fill this system with minecarts is you place them down right here and you select kill mode. Simply since whatever the minecart does to kill the villager doesn't really matter if it's empty. So it will go into storage anyway using that. Over here I also have to explain that I intend to put all the different workstations that villagers can have in this chest. So you can easily place them down on this black block right here. So you can unlock their traits and see if this is a good villager or not. And I think we've had almost everything, yeah. Let's go down here and let's take a look at the mess here. Essentially, I showed all of this in the previous 2 episodes, besides the no blocks, but they are just wherever the thing is where you take power from. When that comes on, the no blocks will play, so that's not really too difficult to add. I'm not going to explain exactly how I did those things, but it's essentially just all of those things that I explained comboed together. Alright, you're not really supposed to go down there. I just did a whole explanation, but I think new viewers might be very confused right now. Because I didn't say something that is crucial to know. That windmill is in fact a villager breeder. Anyway. Over here at the skeleton spawner, I dug out some blocks, as you can see, because I want to work on this today, and this gives us some space to do so. And I added a little bit of dirt around here, because I want this floor to be grass. Now, currently we do not have silk touch, so we can't move grass over here. But once we do, we can just place in a couple grass blocks here and there, and it will grow on its own, so that's fine. For now, you have to imagine this being green, but it will stay brown for a while. with this ridiculous amount of wheat, we can do a lot of things, but I think I am going to start to trade it with the villagers. Even if we run out of wheat, we can still do a second harvest later, and then we'll have an even more huge amount of wheat. So, there is absolutely no problem in doing this. Actually, let's level this guy up and see what he has to offer for the second trade, and let's do that with the other guy as well. Next up, I kind of wanted to work on the skeleton spawner, however, we ran out of redstone, so we kind of have to go mining first. And there are a couple of places where we can do that. We can go back to the abandoned mine shaft where we went mining earlier, but I would rather go to the other big hole. The one that is called the second mining hole on the map, if you remember that. Alright, I'll see you when I am in the mines. It is over here, if you remember from, I don't know, episode 3 or something, where we found our first diamonds, and this cave is still not explored at all, and as you can see, we found even more diamonds, so that's amazing. First, I'll light things up as usual, and then I'll show you the exciting stuff afterwards. And this is what we are after, the redstone. That's what we are looking for at the moment. Oh dear, and there are 2 creepers here. Oh dear. Okay. We dealt with that. Oh dear, there's a spawner here. Oh, wow. I did not notice that. Wow, I was just casually walking around here and immediately, oh my god, I am very surprised by finding a spawner here. I did not expect that, especially not one that is this open. I mean, wow, there was just one spider here. Alright, let's look at what is in the chests, and in this one there is a saddle, which is very good, and some bones. And in this one there is a name tag and a golden apple, which is also very good. That's nice. Again, I'm going to leave this. We can always come back to get it later. Alright, let's continue exploring this cave. Oh, we end up over here. Oh, that's interesting. I was mining and I went through a lot of different tunnels into a, well, you can call it a maze. And I ended up at a different place here where I have already been because there are torches here. Now, over here, this is actually below the skeleton spawner because somewhere on the wall here on the left, over there it is. So those cobblestone blocks over there, over on top of that there is the skeleton spawner. So somehow I made my way from the mining hole all the way over here through all of the caves. Because if you didn't know it, over here there is also a very large cave that we still haven't explored yet. We are back at the base, and this is what we obtained from that short little mining session. 21 diamonds and a good amount of redstone. That's definitely enough that we can do what I want to do. Using that freshly obtained redstone, I immediately hooked up the lamps of the skeleton spawner here. So as you can see, the torches have been removed and the lamps are on now. For now, I have attached these lamps to a lever over here. And if we turn that off, of course, everything is dark inside. And there should be skeletons spawning, as has already happened. And let's turn this on again, so that there are no new skeletons. And for now, I just have them down here. And we can just go here and kill the skeletons over here. This means that from now on we have a reliable source of bones and bone meal. The redstone for this is very easy. It's just run a redstone wire using repeaters and redstone dust into the lamps. Because these blocks over here behind them is a lamp. Now, of course, that little thing that I made below here is very ugly, and we want a more fancy room in which we kill the skeletons, and we want to bring them up here. And I think now is the time to figure out how I want to do that, how I want this room to look. And I am going to try out some different things, and I think I am going to get you back once I have, like, my walls pretty much in place, actually, and I know where I want the like killing thing for its skeletons to be. Alright, I added some pillars here on the walls, and I think it's actually a good moment to give some building advice here. There are a couple things we can say here. The first thing is, when you are using blocks to build with, usually it's a good idea to mix it with some other blocks. So right here we are using bricks and polished granite. And simply by mixing them together, that makes the build look so much better. Second thing is, I am thinking ahead here, and I am leaving like tunnels open here, which is because having like open-ended areas in your world definitely helps with with building it, because I might not know right now what I want to build behind this, or what I want to build over here. But in the future, having an open end, and then when I decide to build something, I can just decide, oh, which open end do I pick for that? And then just go, oh yeah, I want to build it over there, that's it. Leaving open ends definitely helps. And now, thirdly, breaking symmetry can sometimes be very good. And we are going to break symmetry here. Originally, I wanted my killing chamber for the skeletons to be like centered on the room here. But on second thought, I might want to change that. For example, I'm going to have the killing chamber of the skeletons in between some of these pillars, because I think it would be nice to have like a little how do you call this, like an indent in the wall with something between every pillar. I designed a little segment of the wall here, and I am really happy with how this turned out. This looks very good in my opinion. So what I will do is I'll probably copy this to the other segments, or at least make them look very similar. And I think I want every little segment of the wall to have its own functionality. Or, well, functionality, they don't all have to be functional. Some can just be decorative, or just plain wall essentially. Even when they are plain wall, I kind of want them to look similar, because I think this looks really nice. I especially like the leaves, because as I already explained, I want this room to feel very lush and green. Maybe we can even extend the leaves to the front here. I'm not sure about that. I don't like how it looks. I think we'll undo that. But yeah, having leaves in the ceiling here, we can do a nice trick, and we can place glowstone above that and hide our lighting, which will probably look nice at the end. We'll place blocks on the top there to hide the glowstone like this. But this room right here, or this little section of the wall, is designed with the killing chamber of the skeletons. So what happens is these skeletons will come and drop in here, and then you kill them, and below them is a hopper that will pick up the bones and arrows and whatever the skeletons will drop. And I think that's what I will focus on next, so make some sort of system that will transport the skeletons up and then make them drop down over here, so you can kill them over here. There is a wandering trader here that spawned, and he sells both sea pickles and a coral block, and I want both of these, so I am quickly going to take a break from the skeleton farm and trade with this guy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I constructed the tubes that transport these skeletons over there and then up, and then makes them drop into this thing and makes them low HP so we can punch them to death. If they do not have armor, at least. Wait, let me kill all of them so I can demonstrate it. If one falls that does not have armor, we should be able to punch it to death. And of course, now there are no skeletons coming through here. There is a couple in here. 2 of them are stuck on top of the spawner. But that's fine, I don't really care about that. I think it looks kind of nice, actually. Come on, please give me one to demonstrate this. We can punch the skeletons to death that fall in here. There we go. Yeah, that's a good demonstration. In those tubings, it's not really that difficult. It's essentially just water streams and a bubble column using a soul sand block to transport them up. But there is one non-obvious part in that tubing. And that non-obvious part of the tubing is right here, where we have the soul sand to send the skeletons up. And the reason why this is not obvious might not immediately be apparent to you, and to explain that, I have a little mock-up version here. So, the way the soul sand works is it requires the water blocks above it to be like full source blocks, like that. And yeah, we want a fence gate here simply to prevent the water from flowing backwards. But that brings a problem with it, because if we have water flowing that way to transport the skeletons towards the soul sand, because the water block above the soul sand is a source block, on the last block you will always have the water flowing in the opposite direction, and that will stop the skeletons over here. And there is not really anything you can do about that, because, you know, the water block above the soul sand has to be a source block. And the solution is that configuration over there. And what you do instead is you go down a block and you have a fence post there. It is also over there. Maybe you didn't see it, but there is also a fence post over there. And yeah, of course, if you go stand on top of a fence post, you are like raised by half a block. And in doing so, you can make it so the skeletons will still be affected by the water that is on top of the fence post, and also be able to go on top of the soul sand to get launched in the bubble column. This empty space right here, where the water flows in here, seems pointless, but actually what it does is it pulls the skeletons further in once they are in the bubble column, and it makes so they are completely inside of the block when they go up. Otherwise, they might get stuck on that block right there, which is actually what happened over here, because if we do this without the water block on the side, you can see we are like halfway in the bubble column and halfway in the block next to it. Alright, explanation time is over. it seems like the skeletons that spawn on top of the spawner block actually get stuck there. And that surprised me a little bit, because a long time ago, in a different version of Minecraft, I had a skeleton farm similar to this one. And back then, the skeletons that spawned on top of the spawner block would eventually wander off themselves. I am a little bit bothered by this, because this decreases the efficiency of our farm. And to fix it, I will probably just put a slab on top of the spawner or something to prevent the skeletons from spawning on that block. Also notice the glow squid here. We get a lot of glow squid spawning in the water of our skeleton farm. And I think that's really nice, because it adds some ambience to the room. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing some more work on this room here, where the skeleton farm is. And as you can see, it's all coming together, and it's looking very good at the moment. I brought in some grass using the freshly obtained Silk Touch pickaxe. And I copied the pillar thing over from that little section over to the other ones. And I added like a thing to divide the walls and transition to the ceiling. Right now, I think it's a good moment to decide what the function of every section should be. For example, I think this one should be an enchantment setup, simply because it's close to the killing chamber of the skeletons, and that will come in very handy. Also, I think it is again a good moment here to give some building advice, and there are two things to tell here. One thing is that it helps to divide your build up into sections. Right now we divided our walls up into different sections using these pillars, and that just looks better than having a plain wall from left to right. And the second advice that I would give you is to add depth. In this build, I added a lot of depth. Usually you don't have to go this extreme, but if we examine our wall here, the farthest it comes out is the pillars, so right here. And then you can still go in 1, 2, 3 blocks until you actually hit the wall. That means that we have 3 blocks of depth here, and that's actually quite a lot. Usually you don't need that much. And even on the top here, close to the ceiling, I added some more depth. So depth is definitely something that I went big with in this build. Alright, I think I want to make this enchantment setup right here, and I'm going to add a slab on top of the spawner, and maybe figure out some other sections as well, and I'll get you back once I've built it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have been working a lot more on this room. I've added a enchantment setup here, and I've been adding a lot of little details to this room, actually. As you can see, I added some crafting tables with some flower pots, and I added some bamboo to go with the green and lush theme that I am trying to go with. I added some chests here to store all the stuff that we get from the skeletons. And next to the enchantment setup, there is a barrel with some stuff that you might need if you go enchanting. Also, there is this button over here that toggles the lights in the spawner room. So that's a way to turn our skeleton farm on or off. Also notice that when that light is on, the skeleton farm is working. And when that light is off, like right now, the lights here are on, so it is off. That's very confusing, but it's true. So when that is on, the lights in here are off and the skeleton farm is running. We can take a look at the redstone for that. It's not too complicated because we actually already saw it in the explanation of the redstone for the villager reader. What we have here is, that is the lamp on which the button is. And when you press the button, this redstone dust gets powered, and that powers this piston. And we have seen this circuit in the redstone for the villager breeder, actually, because what this does is it will power this repeater for a very short amount of time. And then we have this sticky piston with a redstone block. And an important thing to know about sticky pistons is that if you give them a short pulse, we call it a one-tick pulse, which is the shortest amount of time this repeater can be on, then it will leave its block behind. And using that, we can essentially swap the place that this redstone block is. Wait, maybe we should get a button or something to demonstrate what I mean. There we go, there is a button. So every time I press the button, the redstone block should swap place. Right, you can see now it's there, now it's there. And also notice the repeater here that just for a very, very short moment flashes. And it is because it's that short that this works. And then, of course, you can just run this to the place that we had the lever earlier. Also, something to note here, there is a redstone torch here, and that is to control the light on which the button is on. Right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's actually time to end the episode, because I don't have time anymore to do more work here. And actually, I have an interesting idea about what I want to put there or there, I'm not sure, either there or either there. The other one, I will just make a wall or something, I'm not sure. But, yeah, I'm going to end this episode here. I would like to thank you for watching. That also brings me to the fact of this episode, the fact of the video. And the fact of the video is that honey does not spoil. Thank you for watching. I hope I can see you in the next episode. And keep wondering. Goodbye.